Hi everyone, it's Stephanie and Cara from APNPI, and we're back with you today again to complete our round of accreditation judgings for our December 2018 accreditation submissions. So we hope you're all excited to join us for another round of judging. I believe today we will be looking at 7 submissions.
Yep.
And we have our wonderful judges back with us again, Lizzy McMillan, Lizzie Gilmour, and Heather Clemente. So we look forward to hearing from them and all of the information and wonderful tips that they provide for you. We'll catch you again at the end of this recording, and we hope you all enjoy this offering. All right, reviewing a submission in the newborn posed category. We will hear overall scores first. Let's hear from Heather Clemente.
Accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
All right, so no challenge has been called. This submission will be accepted. Let's hear from Lizzy McMillan a few words to the benefit of the maker.
Yes, I think that overall this portfolio is beautiful. I think the artist has demonstrated a good use of, or I guess a good balance between the posing and capturing the relationships and the connections. And the style is consistent. The use of light is consistent and beautiful. So overall, very, very beautiful portfolio. I'm instantly drawn to the image of the twins. I think that is just a stunning portrait. So I loved this submission. Good job.
Thank you. And let's hear from Lizzie Gilmour a few words to the maker regarding how they can improve the imagery.
I'd just like to see just a little bit more contrast, especially in those black and whites, so we're seeing more details. Yeah, so it's not what the actual overall look isn't so flat. I just want just a little bit more punchier and just watch your highlights again.
Fantastic, thank you. We will move on. Our next submission, again, will be in the category of newborn posed. We'll hear overall scoring first. Let's hear from Lizzie Gilmour.
Accepted.
And Heather Clemente.
Accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan, sorry.
That's right, accepted.
Wonderful, congratulations to this maker. Let's hear from Heather Clemente a few words to the maker regarding what they're doing successfully here.
So overall, the portfolio shows good understanding of light. Skin tones are all executed very well. There's a nice variety here of posing and styling. Overall, it's a very attractive portfolio that is well executed.
Thank you very much. We are again looking at a submission in the category of newborn posed. We will ask for your overall scores. Let's hear from Lizzy McMillan, please.
Accepted.
And Heather Clemente.
Accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Accepted.
All right, this submission has been accepted, and let's go to Lizzy McMillan for commentary for the maker, please.
Yes, I think overall this is a beautiful portfolio. The use of color, color harmony, posing, lighting, all of those elements are beautifully executed. There was just one piece I did want to point out that perhaps in the broadcast, the observers will be able to see. On the image of the family, there appears to be a substantial amount of digital artifacting, but one of the benefits of having the images ahead of time is that the judges and I were able to take a look at all of the images individually at high resolution, and none of that artifacting is present. So overall, beautifully executed portfolio, and very pleased with this maker, and congratulations.
Wonderful. All right, we'll move on to our next submission. This submission is in the category of maternity. We are looking for overall scores. Let's hear from Heather Clemente, please.
Not accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
All right, as we have 3 not accepted, we will go image by image, and we will go to scores, please. Let's hear from Heather Clemente.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan, please.
Not accepted.
All right, let's hear from Heather Clemente, a few commentaries for the maker in terms of how they can elevate this image.
So it's a lovely classic maternity portrait. The left side of the image around the feet appears to be a lot darker than the right side. Also on the far right side, there is some white areas there. I'm not sure if that's the edge of the background or what that is, but that could easily be cloned out on the side there.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on. And scores, please. We'll hear from Lizzie Gilmour.
Accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
And Heather Clemente.
Accepted.
There's no challenge called, so this image will be accepted. Our next image, overall scores, Heather Clemente.
Accepted.
And Lizzie McMillan.
Accepted.
Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted. Can I challenge?
Absolutely. Let's hear in the benefit of the maker. We'll go to Lizzie McMillan.
Yes, I think that the posing is beautiful, beautifully done. I love the backlighting here. Backlighting is difficult to achieve, and I think that we've got just soft lighting across the subject's nose. You can see a bit of the catch light in her eyes, and yeah, I think overall it's very beautiful.
Thank you. Let's go to Lizzie Gilmour, please. More thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely like the pose and the backlighting. For me, though, it's very cool compared to the rest of the portfolio, which makes it stand out. I'd just like to see it a bit warmer and not so washed out in the blacks. Maybe bring those blacks down a little bit.
Thank you. We'll rescore this image. Let's hear from Heather Clemente, please.
Accepted.
And Lizzie McMillan.
Accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
This image will be accepted. Overall scores, please. We'll hear from Heather Clemente.
Accepted.
And Lizzie McMillan.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Accepted.
All right, there is no challenge. This image will be accepted. And our next image, overall scores from Lizzie McMillan.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Heather Clemente.
Accepted.
And no challenge has been called. Let's hear from Lizzy McMillan, a few comments to help the maker, please.
Yes, I think just to start, the connection here is fabulous. This is something that we look for in maternity portraits. You know, when they're including an older sibling, you can tell that Big Sis is very excited to be Big Sis. What held me back from the image as being accepted is the composition. I'd like to see a bit more room around the subjects to allow for a little bit more storytelling, a little bit more just use of the rule of thirds. Here we have mom off to the side, which is great. But for printing and enjoying the image outside of digital, I believe that it's just cropped in a bit too tight. The image also seems to be taken from a little bit of the lower angle. You know, focus is right on Big Sister's face, which is great, but it has the effect of making mom's body look a bit distorted since she's shot at a different angle. At least that's what I'm seeing. So love the look on mom's face, and the lighting is beautiful, but just a bit more room around the subjects, and just making sure that you're not shooting from a lower angle.
Thank you. So to clarify, that image has not passed. And our next image, let's look for overall scores, please. We'll hear from Heather Clemente.
Accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Accepted.
This image will be accepted.
And I'd love to comment on this image.
Fantastic. Let's hear from Lizzy McMillan.
I just wanted to say I love the styling here. I think Big Sister's expression and you know, up on our tippy toes is just adorable, and I love just the subtle details that the hands, mom and dad's hands together, form a heart. So overall, I think this connection is just fabulously executed, and just beautiful image overall. Very well done.
Thank you, Lizzie. And looking for overall scores, let's hear from Heather Clemente.
Accepted.
And we'll hear from Lizzie Gilmour.
Accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Accepted.
This image will be accepted. Again, overall scores, Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
Heather Clemente.
Accepted.
And Lizzie McMillan.
Accepted.
And no challenge. This image will be accepted. Overall scores, please. We'll hear from Heather Clemente.
Accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie McMillan.
Accepted.
And no challenge. This image will be accepted.
Can I just say that I'd just like to see a little bit less heavy use of the vignette, which I don't think is lighting applied. I think that's probably post-editing.
So to clarify, are you speaking of the vignetting in the image?
Yeah, just this dark bottom right corner. I think if with that taken away, it's an image that could be awarded with merit. Yeah, to try and take it that next step further.
Thank you. All right. And overall scores, let's hear from Heather Clemente.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie McMillan.
Not accepted.
And can we hear some commentary for the maker, please? We'll go to Heather Clemente.
Yeah, the pose is executed well. Mom-to-be looks comfortable and focuses somewhat on the belly there. I just feel that the overall image is washed out, and her skin is appearing very flat and could use some contrast to help strengthen the image.
Sorry, Lizzy McMillan. I'm seeing a bit of, and this is something that I think is very common in backlit images, struggling with light leaks. You can see on Mom's, on the right side of her face, there's a very hot spot area, as well as on her shoulder there on the left. There's a harsh shadow from her face and head down onto her shoulder, and then there's a bit of light leak over the back of her shoulder. And a solution for this is if you're using the lighting and you're bouncing your lights towards the white background, facing the background. If you're not using a snoot or something to channel that light, that is, it's very easy for the light to leak and kind of encompass your subject, right? So we're seeing those hot spots. So a solution for that is to point the lighting away from the subject a bit more, so angle it more directly towards the backdrop, or to have the subject move away from the backdrop a bit to give a little bit more distance between where that bounce is occurring and where the subject is sitting. So just a couple of those things I think changing, would help with the execution of that backlighting. But
wonderful, thank you, Lizzy. We'll move on to our next image. All right, let's hear overall scores. Heather Clemente.
Accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Accepted.
This image will be accepted. Let's move on to our final image for this submission. Again, looking for overall scores. Let's hear from Lizzy McMillan.
Accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Heather Clemente.
Accepted.
And no challenge has been called, so this image will be accepted. Let's go to Lizzie Gilmour for a few comments for the maker in order to elevate this image.
Just a little bit low in contrast in the face there. I just like to bring out that face details a little bit more. Maybe just a little bit more warmth in the hands in here. It just seems a little bit cool.
Thank you. And we will now move on to our next submission. This will be in the category of newborn posed. All right, we are looking at our next submission in the category of newborn posed. This submission came along with some composite imagery behind the scenes for a number of the images, including the sunflower, Froggy, the pots, as well as the baby in the bucket in the lower right-hand corner. We will go to overall scores, please. Let's hear from Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
And Heather, please.
Not accepted.
All right, we will move image to image on this submission. We'll go to overall scores. Let's hear from Heather, please.
Accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
No challenge. This image will be accepted, and we will go to Lizzie Gilmour for a short commentary regarding how this maker can elevate the image.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was that very heavy use of this pink overlay. I think, it's okay to put a little bit in the blankets. Usually, like I would put it in the soft, do a soft light layer mask on top of that. It's quite blocky, and it's just gone over the baby, just giving it a little bit too pink.
All right, thank you. Moving on to the next image. Let's hear from Heather Clemente
Accepted.
and Lizzie Gilmour
Accepted.
and Lizzy McMillan.
Accepted.
Can I hear a few comments in the benefit of the maker, please, from Lizzy McMillan?
I love the use of just the soft tones. I think the halo complements the background beautifully. And the thing that was striking to me was this little baby's eyelashes. I love that they are tack sharp, and it's a beautiful detail that sometimes is difficult to focus on. So very beautifully done.
Thank you. All right, our next image will go to overall scores. Let's hear from Lizzy McMillan, please.
Not accepted.
And Heather.
Not accepted.
And let's hear from Lizzie Gilmour.
It's not accepted.
And we'll get some commentary from Lizzie Gilmour, please.
The focus. I just want to see the focus on the eyes, and all the focus that I see is just purely on that nose and those buttons on the hat. Those eyes have been in focus. Then it's beautifully lit and posed, but you're just letting it down with that focus.
Thank you. All right, our next image, we're looking for overall scores. Let's hear from Heather, please.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
Let's hear commentary from Heather, please.
Yeah, it's a lovely bright image. The skin tones look great. There just seems to be a circle around the baby that is a lot brighter than all the other areas of the background. There's also some shadow from the head within that circle. So just either brightening of the entire background or darkening of the entire background would eliminate that sort of circle that's around the baby.
All right, thank you. So overall, this image has not been accepted. Our next image. And we'll hear overall scores, please. Let's go to Heather.
Accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Accepted.
This image has been accepted. Looking at our next image. Looking for overall scores, we'll hear from Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
And Heather.
Not accepted.
And let's have commentary from Heather, please, for the maker.
Yeah, it's a beautiful moment. Great timing with the eye contact. However, baby's eyes are out of focus and soft, whereas mom's lashes are in focus and very sharp. So the creator just needs to sort of move their focal point over so it's on the baby.
Thank you. Overall, this image has not been accepted. All right. For our next image, we are again looking at overall scores. Let's hear from Lizzie Gilmour.
Accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Accepted.
And Heather.
Accepted.
Wonderful. This image has been accepted. Again, overall scores. Let's hear from Heather.
Accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Accepted. I want to back up and I want to say accepted with merit.
Thank you. And Lizzie Gilmour.
I was going to say not accepted.
All right, so we will call an automatic challenge here as we have a difference in scores between accepted with merit and not accepted. We will hear first in the benefit of the maker from Lizzy McMillan, please.
Yes, I'm interested to see, Lizzie, what you're seeing that I'm not. I'm seeing the connection here. I think the maker has done a phenomenal job. twins, as we all know, are no easy feat, and I think that that the maker here has done a beautiful job getting their faces on the same plane. The lighting, I think, is beautifully done. There's a bit of a shadow on the left side of the little girl's face, but I think it works with the image here. And I would love to see your opinion and what I'm missing and perhaps overlooking.
Fantastic, thank you. And now let's hear from Lizzie Gilmour, please.
Yeah, I mean, I'll meet you in the middle. Just for me, I think I'd just like to see the exposure raised on their faces. I feel like it's a bit underexposed, and they kind of just fall in the shadows. Yeah, and just a little with the posed category, I just want to see a better placement of the hands. Yeah, especially the baby that's underneath and that hand come around by the left hand side of the little girl's face. Just a little bit softer, like maybe if it had been brought in, the wrap had been brought down a little bit and it was just lightly touching her shoulder rather than her hand like that. I just think it's very, those hands out the side and the feet out the side are very distracting, just taking away from a really beautifully balanced image that it could have been within the wrap.
All right, we will look at rescoring this image at this point. Let's hear from Heather Clemente, please.
Accepted.
And from Lizzie Gilmour.
Accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Accepted.
All right, this image has been accepted. Moving to our next image. Again, overall scores. Let's hear from Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
And Heather, please.
Accepted.
And so no challenge has been called. All right, let's go to Lizzy McMillan for commentary, please.
The color harmony here is absolutely beautiful. The skin tone is beautifully executed. You can see a little bit of rosy in the cheeks. Very well done. The element that was holding me back was that the focus on baby's eyes appears to be a bit soft. And that is just something that, although the image is beautifully executed, it's a detail that needs to be nice and sharp and in focus.
Thank you. Moving to our next image, and we are looking for overall scores. Please, let's hear from Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
And Heather.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
All right, overall, this image has not been accepted. All right, let's hear from Lizzy McMillan, please. Some commentary for the maker.
Yes, again, with the beautiful color harmony and composition is beautifully executed. One thing that, again, we're privileged to ahead of time is the composite images, the behind the scenes composite images. And so while the final product is beautifully done, what was personally holding me back was what I saw in the composited images. And for me, that was something that, you know, safety obviously being the most important focus, was something that I was not able to pass this image.
Right. So as the organization, APNPI, we will step in here just to add a few comments as well. We do ask for everyone to submit their behind the scenes composite imagery straight out of camera so that we have a a good comparable to work from, and that we are ensuring that the composites have been done in the first place. So, well done to the maker for submitting this with a composite. We do feel that that is incredibly important. I do believe that what Lizzie may have been referring to was the positioning of the spotter's hands when supporting the lower part of the image. And so in this composite, we did see a bit of pressing together of the wrists, which did not alleviate pressure out of the hands from the weight of the head. And we did want to reassure this maker that we are going to be providing tutorials early into January, full-length video tutorials on the proper compositing of images such as the froggy and potato sack to better equip the makers with information regarding composite imagery and proper handling for that lower part of the image. All right. We will move on to the next image in this submission, which has also been submitted as a composite image. So again, well done by the maker for taking those precautions. Let's hear overall scores, please, from Lizzy McMillan.
Accepted.
And Heather.
Accepted.
And let's hear from Lizzie Gilmour, please.
Not accepted.
No challenge has been called. This image will be accepted. Let's hear from Lizzie Gilmour. Some commentary for the maker, please.
Just a bit of weird proportions. I think if you think of the newborn baby, if in the size of the pot, it's, yeah, the head's just a little bit big. If you think about it, if the baby was not in the pot. Just the proportions. I worked on the composite though. It's a beautiful composite.
Thank you. So overall, this image has been accepted. And we will move to our next image, also done as a composite image. Let's hear overall score, please. Heather.
Accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Accepted with merit.
Wonderful. Can we have some commentary for the maker, please, from Lizzy McMillan?
Yes, so this image was also submitted as a composite, as you mentioned, which I love to see that it's been done safely, but the image overall, I think, is just beautifully executed. The use of color, the way that the texture on the backdrop and the soft vignetting draws my eye right into that sweet little baby's face and smile, fingers relaxed, and it's just, I think, beautifully executed. Very good job.
Wonderful, thank you. That brings us to the end of this submission. The submission overall was not accepted, but beautiful job done by this maker, and we do hope to see you resubmit. We will now move on to our next submission, and we will hear some overall scores. Let's hear from Lizzie Gilmour, please.
Not accepted.
And can we hear from Lizzy McMillan, please?
Not accepted.
And Heather Clemente, please.
Not accepted.
All right, we will go through the images one by one. Overall scores, please. Let's hear from Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
And Heather.
Not accepted.
This image will not be accepted. We will hear commentary from Heather, please.
Yeah, that toe in the front left corner is very distracting to the image. Also, the way the light is hitting the baby is not the most flattering, with those shadows coming down off of her headband. If you were to sort of pull the light a little more to the side of the baby, sort of feather it from that side. It would be much more flattering to show the baby's features and sort of push those shadows that are coming from the headband off to the left of the image.
Thank you. We'll move to the next image. Overall score, please, from Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
Lizzie Gilmour.
Accepted.
And Heather.
Accepted.
No challenge called. This image will be accepted. Let's go to Lizzy McMillan for suggestions for the maker.
I love the color harmony and the lighting here on baby. The pose looks safe and relaxed. A couple of the items that I found a bit distracting that perhaps would be something to pay attention to in future compositions. There appears to be some type of hair or texture on the wrap. If you look just below baby's hand on the left, there are some strands of hair or fur or something of that. Again, right underneath kind of the chin on the shoulder area, there's some loose strands. It appears that it might be part of the backdrop, but it's not consistent really throughout the entire wrap. So just those little elements I found a bit distracting. But other than that, that was my only, I guess, takeaway, and maybe a bit more saturation just to enhance the shadows a bit more.
Thank you. Moving on to our next image. Overall score, please, Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
And Heather.
Not accepted.
And let's hear some commentary for the maker from Heather, please.
The color tones used here are complementary and appealing. The one thing that does stand out is the angle in which the baby is photographed, and the baby, the portion of the face that we can see, is not in focus. So the creator may benefit. I can see that they wanted this wrap and flowers to be definitely a focal point of the image. However, if they would have angled the camera a little differently to come down the face and across the body, they would still see this lovely display that they've done here, but also capture more of the baby's face and have that in focus and be the main focal point.
Thank you, Heather. Moving on to our next image in the submission. Overall score, Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
And Heather.
Not accepted.
Let's go to Lizzie Gilmour for commentary for the maker, please.
Yeah, I really enjoy how relaxed baby is. Nice relaxed fingers, nice relaxed pose. I like the composition. The thing that let it down for me is this hot left-hand corner. It's very distracting. Just bringing down those highlights a little bit. If they are there, they might have been clipped just for the light. But yeah, it's very distracting. It takes away from this beautiful little baby in the middle.
Thank you. And we will move on to the next image. Overall score, please, from Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
Lizzy McMillan.
Accepted.
And Heather.
Accepted.
Can I challenge?
Yes, we will hear from Lizzy McMillan and the benefit of the maker, please.
So I love the connection here. I think the artist has captured that beautifully. I can see that mom's hands are soft. The angles that are flattering to both mom's face and baby's face. can be difficult to light. I can see from the catch lights that the light is off to the side. It might be a bit low, but the shadowing and such on Mom's face is still pleasing. And there were a couple of distracting elements, like the flower stem there with the flowers that are incorporated were a bit distracting, but I think overall the detail of baby's face and Mom's face, color harmony, I think it works well. So I'd love to hear perhaps what I'm missing.
All right, and we will hear from Lizzie Gilmour, please.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I agree. But the thing that lets me down is just the focus of the eyes. I'm drawn to those eyes, but they're just not in focus. And another thing I want to point out is down the left-hand side of this image, there appears to be like a very hot strip of blown out highlights, and also up by the dress up the top left-hand corner. And yeah, it's just some very distracting elements to this image that, for me, kind of let it down to the not accepted.
All right, so we will rescore this image as it was a challenge. And let's hear, please, from Heather.
Not accepted.
And from Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And from Lizzy McMillan.
Given the articles or the items that Lizzie has brought up, I'm not accepted as well. Looking at the original image, and I'm seeing in the original image that Mom's left eye is sharp, and the baby's eyes are both in focus and sharp as well. My view of this is that perhaps because Mom's face is turned slightly, that top eye, her right eye, is just a bit out of focus or a little bit soft. So what I would suggest to the maker to avoid this in future compositions is to perhaps use a bit of a larger aperture. Perhaps, I'm not sure what this was shot at, but perhaps a 3.5 or 4.0, just something to make sure that when you're turning Mom's face in toward baby like that, it's shifting the focal plane, and having that aperture set to 3.5 or 4.0 will allow both eyes to be in focus as well as baby's face.
Thank you. Overall, this image has not been accepted. We'll move to the next image. Looking for overall scores, please. Let's hear from Heather.
Accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie McMillan.
Accepted.
And there's no challenge. This image will be accepted. We will go to our next image. Overall score, please. Lizzie McMillan.
Not accepted.
Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Heather.
Not accepted.
Let's hear from Heather, please. Some commentary for the maker.
Yeah, working with multiples is always a challenge. Here I feel that the light is not really helping the image to show the baby's features. You've got some dark area behind the baby on the left head there that is just sort of clipped away, and we can't see the shape of the baby's head. Also, there's a lot of green and blue tones that are appearing in the baby's skin, which could use some warming up.
Thank you. We'll move to the next image. Overall scores, please. We'll hear from Lizzie McMillan.
Accepted.
And Heather.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
Okay, this is Lizzie. I'd like to call a challenge.
Let's hear from you, Lizzie, and the benefit of the maker, please.
Sure. I love the composition with baby's sweet little face, nice in the forefront. The color harmony works well. There were a couple of distracting elements that I overlooked, like the little piece of her leg, I guess, that's kind of popping out there at the bottom. But yeah, I'd love to hear from my other jury members and see perhaps what I'm missing.
Thank you. And let's hear from Heather, please.
Yeah, the fingertips there are really hot. They're really hot. They need to be lightened up quite a bit, darkened quite a bit. There's also some green tones happening around the eyes and the lower forehead that is very distracting and needs some overall help with the color balance here.
Thank you, Heather. All right, let's rescore. We'll hear from Lizzie Gilmour, please.
Not accepted.
And from Heather.
Not accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
This image overall will not be accepted. Moving to our next image. Let's hear overall score from Heather, please.
Not accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
Let's hear some commentary for the maker from Lizzy McMillan, please.
Yes, I believe that the color harmony in here is beautiful, and the maker has done a great job of pulling, all the blues, blue tones. What I'm seeing that was holding me back from accepting the image is that the focus appears to be on baby's headband and not on baby's eyes. I can see beautiful, darling little lashes there, and they're just not sharp. The same with the angle that baby's at. Her nose appears to be out of focus, as do her lips. And so in an image like this, where it is predominantly her face is, the biggest feature in the image, I want to see those elements be sharp. Her little nose, her eyes, eyelashes, she's got darling lashes, but we're just not doing them justice with where the focus was.
Thank you. So overall, this image is not accepted. Scores, please, from Heather.
Accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Accepted.
And Lizzie McMillan.
Accepted.
This image has been accepted. All right. Overall score, please. We'll hear from Lizzie McMillan.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Heather.
Not accepted.
All right, overall, the image is not accepted. Let's hear some commentary from Lizzie McMillan, please, for the maker.
So the maker has done a beautiful job of tying all of these colors together, the purples, blues, pinks, very beautiful composition. The way that the flowers kind of circle around the baby is beautifully executed, and the image, I think, overall is well done. The elements that were holding me back from marking it as accepted, if we look to the top left of the image, there appears to be some type of either pixelation or perhaps maybe it's an edit of some type. I'm looking at the original image, and it's something that is distracting to the eye, where it's darker and appears pixelated. Also, cropping the image in a bit, I believe, would have eliminated that issue and made the baby a bit more of the center of the image. The dead space that's there on the left, I don't believe adds to the composition, but is something that did draw me away from marking the image as accepted.
Do we have composite for this?
Okay, we've checked. We don't actually have a composite image in our back end for this setup, but we would love to hear your commentary as to what it is that you would like to see in that type of composite image, because we do feel it is important that people do submit the composite images for anything that would require safety.
Yeah, it is a beautiful image. I just when baby's up on a bed like that and she is quite close to the edge, and a slight startled movement could result in her coming forward and off it, or moving and scraping her leg on the bed there that exposed. So just that confirmation that in a composite that there is that hand within centimeters of the baby. It doesn't necessarily be touching her, but I would like to see that a composite is required, because the hand is so close that it's gotten away of the background. So composite is required to fill in back that part of the bed for where the hand would be.
Thank you very much. And so we'll move to the last image in this submission now, and we'll be looking for overall scores, please. Let's hear from Heather.
Not accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And some commentary for the maker, please, from Heather.
Yeah, the expression on baby's face is adorable. And we all know that that's a hard capture to get with a smile there. There are a few distracting elements within the frame. The greens up in that one green leaf up in the left corner could have easily been cloned out. The pinks on the right side, they're not necessarily distracting, but they just don't fit within the image. There's no need for them to be there. Also, that one finger that is up sort of on the face has a bit of a claw-like feel to it, when the rest of the image is so soft. Also, the lighting could use a little help. You've got some hot spots on the nose and on the left side of the nose there. And if you just were to move the light a little bit closer to the baby, you would have created more shadow and more depth on the face, which would have really made the baby stand out more within the frame. Also, the direction of the light is a little bit too in front of the baby, which is going up the nose and is not flattering at all. If you pull it back and feather it more on a 90 degree, it would be a lot more pleasing to the baby's face.
Thank you, Heather. So this image has not been accepted, and overall the submission is not accepted. But thank you to the maker. Moving on to our last submission for today. Again, we are looking at a newborn posed submission. We will go for overall scores, please. Let's hear from Heather.
Not accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
All right, thank you. We'll move image to image. Looking again for overall score for this image, please. We will hear from Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
And let's hear from Heather.
Accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And some commentary, please, for the maker from Lizzy McMillan.
Yes, I think the maker has done a beautiful job of capturing the detail and the eye and the little nose there. It's a beautiful profile picture. The pieces of the image that held me back from accepting were the overall color balance. Baby appears to have a couple of different skin colors. There almost is like a magenta hue over the entire image. And so I would suggest that the maker take a look at color balance and also the overexposure. There's some hot spots up at the top on baby's forehead and in the top left corner of the image that are kind of competing for the focus of those darling little eyelashes.
Thank you. Moving to our next image, looking for an overall score, please. We'll hear from Lizzie Gilmour.
Accepted.
Heather.
Accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
So I'm going to have to say not accepted, and I'd like to challenge.
All right, we will hear in the benefit of the maker from Heather, please.
Yeah, the overall image is lovely. I mean, we have a lovely moment here between mom and dad and their newborn baby. The direction of the light is very flattering to all three subjects. I love the fact that all hands are visible, is very pleasing.
Thank you. And now let's hear from Lizzie, please.
So I definitely agree with everything that Heather said. The posing, it appears natural. Mom's expression is very relaxed, and you can see that connection that the maker has captured. The element that was holding me back, there were two elements that were just something I'd love to see perfected from this maker. The first is the reflection in Dad's glasses. If you look, there is a distracting element, and it appears to be maybe a reflection of the baby's wrap, or perhaps a bounce from the light source itself. But that is something that I do find distracting in the image. And you know, as a client, as a parent, I wear glasses, so I know this is, you know, something that photographers struggle with the lighting and such. But as a client, I would want to see that not be the case. I'd want to see either having Dad remove his glasses, or perhaps change the angle at which Dad's face is positioned, or move the light source. Some of those little tweaks, I believe, would have eliminated that. The second item that was a bit distracting is I feel like we're losing baby's face a bit in the wrap. There's a little tiny piece of, it appears to be her little hand or a finger that's kind of poking out there. But we don't see the full hand and we don't see the full chin. So it's just a little bit of both. And so that was you know, something that I would love to see perfected for a family image.
Thank you. We will rescore this image based on that commentary. Let's please hear from Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Heather?
Not accepted.
And from Lizzie?
Not accepted.
Overall, this image will not be accepted. Looking for overall scores on our next image, please. Let's go to Lizzie Gilmour.
Accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Accepted.
And Heather.
Accepted.
This image will be accepted. Our next image, overall scores, please, from Heather.
Accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
No challenge. This image will not be accepted. Let's have a few quick comments from Lizzie Gilmour, please, to help the maker.
I just see a lot of yellow in the tones and just a bit washed out.
All right, thank you. Moving to our next image, overall score, please, from Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Heather.
Not accepted.
And some commentary for the maker from Heather, please.
It's a great effort here. The creator should consider straightening the background for a stronger image. Getting a little nitpicky, those fingers tips that are covered at the edge there. Would love to see those visible. And also just the light, it's coming in really hot on the one side and is making the baby seem as though their arms are two different colors. So some proper balancing of that light would help.
Thank you. It's very informative. And overall scores for this image, please. We'll hear from Lizzie Gilmour.
Accepted.
Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
And Heather.
Accepted.
And I'd like to challenge.
All right, let's hear in the benefit of the maker, please, from Heather.
It's a pleasing balance throughout the frame. How the baby fills the frame is lovely. It could add a little impact by having that one hand visible, but not a deal breaker.
All right, and let's hear from Lizzie, please.
Yes, I agree. The element or the the main thing that was holding me back in accepting the image was the overall color balance here. Pink is a difficult color to photograph on, and I believe that the maker has done a beautiful job with the styling, with the, the tonality, but overall there are just some inconsistencies in the color balance on baby's skin.
Thank you. We'll rescore the image. Let's hear from Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Heather.
Not accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan. Not
accepted.
This image will not be accepted.
Just with these tummy up, especially with this one, if you notice the slight redness of the baby's face, I'd just like to see a little less angle of the neck. Just bring that blood circulation back into the baby's face. I feel like it's a little bit compromised just by the angle of the neck.
Sorry, just to clarify, do you mean rotation? That the baby
rotation? Yeah, that's right. The head is rotated too far to the left. If you just lifted that chin up a little bit so it was resting more on the blanket.
Perfect, thank you. Overall scores, please. Let's hear from Heather.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie McMillan.
Not accepted.
And so let's hear from Heather, please, some commentary for the maker. And we'll go to Heather for some commentary for the maker, please.
Yeah, it's a nice perspective. That shallow depth of field helps keep the focus on the eye that's closest to the camera. Just one little critique is the left corner, the cloning that has taken place there has completely drawn my attention away from the baby, and it leaves me wondering what's happening up there. So some cleaner sort of cloning of that area would keep the focus on the baby and allow the baby to stay the focus of the image.
Thank you, Heather. Let's move to our next image. And scores, please, from Lizzie McMillan.
Not accepted.
And Heather.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
Let's hear a few quick comments for the maker to elevate this image, please, from Lizzie Gilmour.
Composition, just with it being in the middle there, and just all I see is the baby's butt. I really want to see that more of the baby's heads and more of that baby in behind. It's just kind of been lost in behind the bottom baby.
Thank you. We'll look at our next image. Let's hear overall score, please, from Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie McMillan.
Accepted.
And Heather.
Not accepted.
All right, no challenge. This image will not be accepted. Let's hear a few comments from Heather, please, for the maker.
Yeah, the color tones that are used here are very calming and pleasing to the eye. It's just a really unusual angle that the baby is photographed at. It sort of feels like the baby could just sort of slip off. I mean, we know she's likely on a beanbag, but I don't know. She just appears as though she could slip down. Also, the light could be closer to the baby and add more shadow, create more depth.
Thank you. Moving to our next image. Overall score, please. Let's hear from Lizzie McMillan.
Accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
And Heather.
Accepted.
Sorry, I am going to challenge.
We're going to hear from, in the benefit of the maker first, please, from Heather.
Yeah, it's a nice, different perspective, one that we don't see too often. And the light is used well to enhance the baby's features.
Thank you, Heather. And let's hear from Lizzie.
Yeah, just again with the neck rotation, I feel like the neck has been over rotated to the left, which is making it slightly distorted looking. I'd just like to see that right arm maybe just tucked in a little bit, just to make it a little bit more comfortable for baby.
Thank you. And we will score this image again, please. Let's hear from Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
And from Heather.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Not accepted.
All right, overall, this image will not be accepted. Moving to our next image, we'll look for an overall score, please, from Heather.
Accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour.
Accepted.
Wonderful, congratulations to the makers. And we will move on to the last image in this submission. Again, looking for overall scores. Let's hear from Heather, please.
Not accepted.
And Lizzy McMillan.
Not accepted.
And Lizzie Gilmour, please.
Not accepted.
And let's have commentary from Lizzy McMillan, please. A few quick suggestions.
Okay, I think overall the image itself was beautifully, like the color tones, the girl's expression, beautifully executed. Something that was holding me back is this image can be dangerous if it's not done as a composite or with a parent right close by. And so just the positioning of baby in the bucket, she appears a bit high in the bucket, and the angle of her face, it just, without seeing the composite submitted, it's a bit concerning to me.
Thank you very much. This image overall will not be accepted. All right, that concludes our judging for our accreditations submissions for December of 2018. We want to thank you all for tuning in, but we especially want to say thank you to our judges, the wonderful Lizzy McMillan and Lizzie Gilmour and Heather Clemente. Thank you. You are all very fabulous. I think that this has been a wonderful learning opportunity for our membership, and we truly value all of your input. We know that it's not always easy as a judge to provide critique, and we think that you've done a fabulous job of that and kept it, very informative for the makers, while keeping things to the major concepts and not becoming too nitpicky with the imagery, which I know we've already received some feedback from our makers of how happy they are about that. We do want to encourage our makers. We know that this can be a difficult experience for some, especially when images don't make it through, or your submission has not made it through to the accepted phase. But we want to let you know that you're not the only one. I myself have applied for accreditation elsewhere and had to go through a resubmission. And so it is a learning process, and take the information, absorb it as best you can. Try to look at your own imagery with a critical eye, the same critical eye that you can use to view other people's images. Sometimes when you have been present for the making of an image, it changes your perception of that final emotive response that you expect people to get from the images. But all of our judges are impartial in your imagery. They were not there for the making of it, so they are looking at it as a viewer, and that is just such an important part of creating art, is to understand the impact that it has on your viewers. And so we want to thank you for submitting. We think it's so brave of you, and encourage you to resubmit if you are not successful. A huge congratulations to those of you who did achieve accreditation on this round. We are so proud of you all, those who did and did not. So many of you were so close. And for those of you that did achieve your accreditation, we think it's a wonderful accomplishment, and we do hope that you'll be very proud of yourselves. And so thanks again for viewing the programming. We did talk a little bit about our upcoming videos that we will be releasing sometime in January to do with composite imagery. Our judges have all expressed interest in helping us to put together some of that information for you. They're all very concerned about newborn safety, and we're so happy that we have them with us and that we have their perspectives and their help in this. So again, thank you, and I guess we'll be signing off unless there's anything, Cara, you'd like to say?
No, you covered it all well. So yeah, thanks again, everyone, and big congratulations and big thanks to our judges.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye now.